Hello, are you able to hear me? Hello. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Let me know if you can see it. Okay, perfect. Is it like in presentation mode?
It is loading into presentation mode.
Gotcha. Let me know if it does, because it has been weird with that lately.
Yeah, you might want to give it a restart. It's not changing.
Let me try again. Okay. Let me share my screen again. Okay. Let me try. Okay. Let me know if it's okay now.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. So what I kind of did for my project is I wanted to discover kind of a low cost way of kind of providing treatment for people. And what I found is that music and frequencies are actually a great way to do this. So first I'm gonna do like a kind of an introduction and define a few things, and then I'll talk about the methodology of my research, and then I'll go specifically about my literature review, and then I'll just kind of conclude everything. So first, an introduction. So I kind of first found out about this through a friend of mine who was learning about how music can be very different for different people and makes you feel different ways. But then I decided to dive deeper and found that different frequency levels and different like kind of ways to sound vibrates actually can be a healing method for people and for different disorders. So first, I wanted to define a few things since not everybody is familiar on sound. So hertz are the unit of measurement to measure frequency, which is basically the number of sound waves that pass a point through a certain amount of time. And then one more thing to understand is all music standardized is tuned to 440 hertz currently, which is the note A, meaning that all when musicians tune their instrument, they tune to that bass note. And so that will be discussed earlier later on why it's important. But first, let's talk about the methodology. So since I didn't actually do an experiment yet, which I'm hoping to do future, I just did a literature review. So I used different mediums such as Google Scholar, different databases to kind of find different articles and gather background information to make like a nuanced argument of and find out my research. So these are the kind of overview topics that we'll be discussing. So first is the implications, like what is sound therapy exactly? And then I will be going into specifically one very important and very base frequency, 432 hertz. And then I will be talking about how to implement this into modern medicine, since I think it's a very important thing to talk about. So first, what is sound therapy? So sound therapy is the use of sound in medicine and healing practices. So researchers have been known to find that different frequencies can be used to diagnose disease. Why this is important is that there's a lot of different diseases that we can't diagnose until it's oftentimes too late, unfortunately. But using like frequencies, it has been seen that we can find diseases up to 5 years before symptoms manifest. By doing this is because each cell area in the body, like your heart area, your brain cells, they all vibrate at different frequencies. Why this is important is if we found that a area or a cell wasn't vibrating at the base or the correct frequency, it might mean that there's some sort of problem there, which can help kind of streamline the process of diagnosis, which is very important in today's society with so many different diseases nowadays. Why this is important is because there's also neurological implications. Because brain waves are also affected by frequency, there's a lot of neurological problems that can be solved through this kind of therapy, like insomnia, ADHD, and even trauma and PTSD can also be helped through this. So there's also a lot of different mediums to use sound therapy. There's physical and there's audible. So by placing vibrations through tuning forks and just mediums that vibrate directly on problem areas, like if your elbow was hurting and you placed like a certain frequency there, it can help a lot with pain alleviation. But also, if you just listen to certain frequencies, it can help with a lot of neurological impacts and things like that. So let's specifically talk about a very important frequency, 432 hertz. Why this is important is because it's a base frequency in a lot of the body and it has been known to solve a lot of problems. For example, stress relief, cardiovascular problems even, and sleep issues and insomnia. Why this is important is because in 1936, all music and all radio stations, all compositions made past then had to be standardized tuned to 440 hertz or the note A. Why this is important is because there's been a lot of research recently that shows that 440 hertz might be detrimental and might be a reason as to why there's a lot more neurological problems in today's society than there was before this tuning. And why this is important is because 432 hertz is a lot better of a frequency for humans to listen to than 440 is. And so by using 432 hertz, we can actually solve a lot of the problems that we're seeing, like increasing stress, which increases the suicide rates, unfortunately. There's a lot of increased cardiovascular problems, especially with high cholesterol and things, and obesity, especially in the US. And even sleep apnea and insomnia has also been shown to increase. This is why knowing about 432 hertz and listening to 432 hertz often is very important. So why is this important? The reason why I want to study this further is because I think it could be a very good use in modern and Western medicine today. So sound therapy is an ancient healing technology. They've used it for hundreds and hundreds of years, especially in ancient Hindu techniques. They also use it religiously too. Why this is important is because you can listen to it both just listening to it on YouTube or vibration, it's very low cost. So in areas where there might be poorer areas or the hospitals might have low resources, they're able to actually be able to get these tuning forks or even just let their patients listen to this music and this vibrations, and it actually can help them with treatment and get people that might not otherwise get treatment for these problems, treatment that is a lot easier to spread around the nation, which I think is very important to implement. Not only that, but like said before, it can be used in diagnosis. And recently, in the past 5 years, it's been known to show early cancer detection, which is not only important because it's a disease detection, but it's important because we don't have a cure for cancer yet. So finding something that is low cost and low resource that can possibly diagnose early stages of cancer and increase the amount of lives that are saved from cancer is a very important problem to solve. So, in conclusion, there's a lot of clear implications that frequencies directly diagnose and can treat different problems in the brain, in the body physically, pain management, and even just lay when your back is hurting at home. You can use these techniques at home as well. The reason why it's important is because it is so versatile. It not only solves a multitude of problems, but you can use it on a wide range of scale. Like I said, you can use it when you're having very minimal and non-invasive problems at home, but also when during surgery to help increase and accelerate the rapid time of recovery after surgery. And that's why it's important, because if we implement and utilize this technology, then hospitals around the country will be able to get low cost, low resource, and great care for their patients. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sapna. That was amazing. I love your project. Anybody who has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I can pass them on to Sapna, and if she has some time in her busy schedule, she can answer them. Thank you, and have a good night. If you are not staying, if you are, we'll have another speech coming up in about 2 to 3 minutes. All right.